Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
First, a word from our sponsor. The Daily Compliance News for April 19, 2022, the Cesspool of Corruption edition. And we begin with that story from TheHill, I believe a first-time contributor to the Daily Compliance News, which reports that Ohio is a cesspool of GOP corruption and craziness. Of course, there's the First Energy scandal, which was a $61 million bribe case against the energy company who bribed numerous GOP legislators. One of the lobbyists involved in the case committed suicide, and the central figure is still former Speaker Larry Householder is claiming his innocence. The total cost to Ohio is estimated at over $1 billion now. But that's just part of it. Much of Ohio's corruption is fueled by egregious gerrymandering, legislative seats. Dark money from special interests is funneled to politicians that are so gerrymandered they're less likely to be held accountable for scandals like First Energy. So, pretty damning portrait of the GOP in Ohio. Next up from the New York Times, the sidebar column. Can the SEC require gag orders when it settles cases? The Supreme Court has been asked to review the practice, and this is a well-known feature of SEC orders and indeed FCPA settlements as well. A U.S. district judge in Brooklyn, or in Manhattan rather, refused to allow a gag order in an unrelated SEC case. Now, a new petition is seeking Supreme Court review by this, or rather on the SEC gag order in their settlements. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Supreme Court says on this. It certainly could change the character of settlements going forward. Next up from Bloomberg, Amazon has agreed to undergo a racial audit, and it's going to be led by former Attorney General Loretta Lynch. Citigroup and Tyson's Foods have previously agreed to these, and now this review will focus on Amazon's hourly employees. This will be an independent equity audit. The audit will be an analysis of the companies to see if their business cause and perpetuate discrimination. So this will be very interesting for everyone to see when it comes out. In our final story, Uber has to pay $91 million in arbitration fees because it removed a huge class action suit of 31,000 members, and now the American Arbitration Association wants the fees paid up front, and a district court ordered Amazon to do so. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.